And actually, you know what? We haven't even talked about it. How, say this person comes in, they're still dislocated. This is emergency department. How do we get this elbow back in or back reduced?
Oh, there are some ways of doing it. Most of them go around the same way or close to it. The idea is to ideally under anesthesia make some axial traction with some degrees of flexion of the elbow. There are some techniques with 9 degrees or less of 9 degrees. And if you imagine that the elbow gets more unstable with supination, when you are reducing, you try to supinate to make the reduction. I think that it is I would do. In Brazil, we are most of the times we do the reduction in the not in the operation room and not under anesthesia. So we do in the hard way. We just do some intravenous pain medicaments and try to push it with slightly little pain with the patient. That's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, we do the
And
same thing. Or at
I was
least
going
here
to
at
say,
my institution, we do the exact same thing. You know, trying to
But
get that
when you
traction. Go
think
ahead.
about a test, especially for a residency, you have to say you always will do it in a operation room and under anesthesia. That's ideal because the muscles will be relaxed and will be more gentle reduction.
yep.
Yeah,
Definitely
and
have to have some level of anesthesia for sure to just kind of keep things relaxed so that you can get this in back in. I know, even though I'm at a very high level, trauma center, we see a lot of things. I remember I actually didn't do my first elbow reduction until a little bit, later than
yesterday,
most
huh?
of. You got jokes, but it was much later than most of the other reductions that I've done. And I was actually kind of nervous because I mean it was my first time, and I'm like, I don't, most of these things we've done a couple dozen, couple hundred times, but I was like, man, I haven't done this before, but it's actually very satisfying.
It
And
is.
I haven't done a whole lot, but they seem to go in with relatively easy. So uh, very satisfies reduction. Nothing like getting a good old clunk to know you're doing it right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
a huge jump from the bone, just a huge clunk.
and
Beautiful.
and I think a good thing, at least that we do afterwards, is after you get it reduced. You know, after you do your traction, your supination, and you flex the elbow up, is to test their stability afterwards to see, if they're stable in pronation, supination, or neutral. Then splint them in their most stable position, but also like take note of that and make sure you put in the note, like, we range the elbow afterwards, and it dislocated at, I don't know, 20 degrees of flexion and supination or something, just so the next surgeon or whoever is going to be seeing this person in the clinic, if it's not yourself, kind of knows how stable they are.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
important.
I think the next thing to do would be to move into treatment. And I know there are not a lot of these that we treat non-operatively, but is there anybody that you would treat with a terrible triad injury non